You're listening to the Board Game Snobs podcast, a ridiculous podcast with ridiculous hosts that discuss ridiculous things. And any mention of board games is purely coincidental. And so, without further ado, and with a heavy dollop of shame and embarrassment on my part, I give you the Board Game Snobs.
And go.
And welcome. Go ahead. Do the intro, Enrique.
And welcome to the Board Game Snobs. And I'm doing the intro.
Duh.
I don't do that as much or as usually.
You got super meta right off
this
the
is
bat.
Enrique.
Make it meta.
This is Gabi. Hello.
Yeah, there's Gabi.
What
I
is
jumped
this?
in before you introduced me. Jerry, stop. Focus. Just let's podcast.
Uncontrolled.
I'm doing like that cool guy on Fast and the Furious when he's playing the PlayStation on his Toyota.
You're very distracted.
I am. Listen, speaking of distractions and speaking of games, this is going to come out right before the Super Bowl. Who are we rooting for?
Who's playing?
I haven't watched Super Bowl. I watch the Super Bowl every year, but I don't really watch football. I watched my first football game a few weeks back in like 30 years with Gabi because Barry Sanders was my man back with Detroit Lions. Best running back ever. When he quit, I kind of stopped watching. We watched the Cowboys-Packers. You're a Cowboy fan.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I was thus supporting
Past tense
Detroit. I was supporting Detroit. I have now, since I watched them get beat down by San Francisco, I really did enjoy, even though they defeated my team, I enjoyed San Francisco. I'm an old school. I'm a Jerry Rice, another famous Jerry, and a Steve Young fan. We're not going to be doing a lot of football talk because I don't know.
We would lose a lot of listeners.
But either way, I'm 49ers all the way. Hey,
I was a Niner kid growing up.
I bet you were. They go to
Enrique
doesn't understand football.
Well, no. I was trying to find who's playing in the Super
49ers in
49ers
Kansas City.
in
And
Kansas
Taylor
City.
Swift.
Oh, okay.
Are you Team Swifty?
You're a Swiftie, aren't you?
What is it? Like, I've been hearing about that. What is it?
She's
all about?
dating one of the Chiefs. I don't know which one, but she's dating one of them. I literally don't know. I just know people.
What is it?
Travis
like her 10th
Kelce.
boyfriend?
And
or
he's
something?
what?
He's a tight end.
I bet he is. But
See, we can't say that about her though,
Why not?
I wouldn't.
because she's not a tight end.
Why would I be commenting on a woman's body?
Exactly.
I know you're a misogynist. We know anybody wants to go back and listen to Votes for Women.
How
how you are.
How dare you?
I, on the other hand,
I think if we can talk about men, we should be able to talk about women and vice versa.
I talk about you all the time.
Equality.
You get upset when I talk about you.
Equality.
I'll talk about Enrique, whose beard I just got done trimming.
Yeah, which I thought they were going to use.
We officially have all three grown a beard.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that I would not have guessed. I did not have this on my card for 2024.
Okay.
I like my beard the least.
Why?
Enrique's beard is awesome. Gabi's salt and pepper white beard looking thing. White beard with a black mustache is awesome.
It doesn't actually.
I'm not. Mine's kind of reddish. That's okay. I like my.
But you have a good full beard.
It's good, but
Yeah.
still, I just did not think I would. I am bearded. My beard came in strong, but it's like, but I don't. I'm thinking about coloring my beard.
Well, that is the thing with the more blonder,
yeah,
redheaded. The beards, it looks fine, but it kind of just blends in with your skin.
I'm about to go.
It doesn't pop.
It doesn't pop. I'm about to go Spider-Man 3.
You're
I'm about to go emo. I'm gonna dye my hair black. Gonna dye this beard black, and everybody gonna be like, "What's with Jerry?" And I'm gonna start dancing.
Enrique's got like full, dark black beard that pops off of his pale
Hair so
skin.
thick. I had trouble trimming his beard. I used Gabi's Manscaped, which I
Hedger. It's for
Oh, thank
beards,
God.
everybody.
I guess.
Thank God.
I mean, you might have alternate uses for it, but it's for beards.
I just realized how weird that was that I borrowed your manscaping device to shave his beard in your bathroom to be like, hey, we need to do something about this beard.
I mean,
I tried to escape initially because they didn't.
Looking. Your beard looks 1,000% better now that it's trimmed.
Yeah. Like,
And
When it goes wild, it looks like a certain bodily hair is just growing on your face that I won't say on the podcast because we're a family show.
This is a public show.
It's a
and we don't
public
talk
show.
about public hairs.
We don't.
No. But you do use a balm. You don't use any products in your beard. Maybe that's what I'm doing. I'm over producting.
I just
spit and grit.
all I use is shampoo and conditioner.
Which type?
Well, he is 20 years old, so I mean, he's got all the testosterone going. He doesn't have to do a whole lot. Whereas, like,
You're not having to take those gas station pills.
I'm naturally.
The 50-year-olds are like using lotions and creams and trying to do everything in the world to make it come back.
I've got balm and Rogaine and everything else.
You know why my hands are so soft? I guess I'm producing just so much oil. They just don't. They never toughen up.
If you're at a certain Patreon level, Enrique will massage your beard with his oily hands, which are no studies have shown your beard because you're always touching your face.
I am.
That could be it. You're naturally oily. Your hands, your baby's tiny soft hands, are able to fit through those follicles. That's what it is. We have discovered the true nature. And
here I am applying like argon. Argon.
It's getting terrible reviews.
Yeah,
R.I.P.
I've heard that.
R.I.P. Mr. Cavill.
Well, you said you had something.
Well,
You said you had something.
So football, I was thinking about.
Okay.
The PAT, the point after touchdown. The reason this is on my mind is that Jack has recently started watching football. And I, thus being a good father, introduced him to Madden, the video game. Promptly stomped him.
Not the coach?
He's dead.
R.I.P.
To prove a point.
What did you say, Enrique?
He's gone.
He's gone.
He's gone.
Yeah, he is gone.
But Jack had never had much experience with football. The first football game he really watched was last year's Super Bowl, and then he watched this game with you, and now he's super into football. And I'm having to explain the rules. And he hit me with why do they kick the ball after a touchdown, and why does it only count as one? And I did not have an answer. And this led me down a path of deep reflection. And I'm going to try to tie this into board game rules as well. But that point after touchdown.
I've never looked it up, but if I was to guess.
Yes.
Because they make the interesting thing about football, and some people may hate it, whatever. But over the years, they have adjusted the rules. They adjust the rules every year.
They adjusted just last year. Apparently.
Usually nowadays, it's just to keep people from dying of the CTE or whatever. But they do make adjustments to like where they kick it from and all this type of stuff. And I would presume, being from the board game world, it's for point balancing.
Correct. And they adopted rugby rules. So initially, according to this website, back in 1883, a touchdown crossing the goalpost was worth a whopping 2 points. A goal from the field, a field goal, so to speak, was worth 5. And a goal after a touchdown was worth a whopping 4.
Yeah, that seems wrong.
They adjusted it because rugby kicking, I guess, through the uprights. I've never watched a rugby game.
I haven't either.
I would love to. Is it Michael Vanoy?
I hear about the blacks and the whites.
Michael Langford.
That may be soccer.
The All Blacks.
New Zealand.
That's New Zealand, I think. They
Something
do
like
that the hookah or the thing where they yell and they.
Yeah, The Rock does it all the time.
That's What is that?
Some sort of native dance.
New England.
The Maori.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
New England listeners, send us New England.
What?
New Zealand listeners, send us an email.
I sent in my wicked email.
Yeah.
I got a dance for you.
Yeah. Tell us what Tom Brady's doing. But in 1888, that's when they had finally
not consuming strawberries.
I did not realize that
inflammatory.
That they did not adjust the goal after touchdown to 1 or 2 until 1988. There apparently was like some controversy. But long story short,
it's a difficulty level,
right? And now kicking the ball, the point after, like nobody ever misses.
They do, but
occasionally
the percentage is
like 90-something percent.
Right.
Here's my suggestion for
But
football.
when they do, it's heartbreaking.
1999 Tishomingo Indians, my high school football team, #1 band every year, greatest band ever.
Banned from playing?
No, banned with the band. Every year the band went to state. the football team was horrible. The one year that the football team went all the way to state, the band was the worst it ever been. We used to sit at the Pizza Hut or the Simple Simon, the Pizza Hut, and listen to the band being out there. The football team went all the way to state. The guy that holds the ball for the point after dropped it. They lost by 1 point. Legitimately. It's heartbreaking. My point being, here's what they should do.
Norwood, wide right.
Here's my suggestion for football. You ready? Point afters. A touchdown's worth 6 points. Point after. Okay. Let's get rid of it completely. There's no need for it anymore.
They've thought about it.
Okay. So a touchdown is worth 6 points. A field goal is worth 3. That means 2 field goals equal a touchdown. So on your first drive, you make a touchdown, you get 6 points. That team A. Team B now gets the ball, gets into your territory, kicks a field goal. There's 3 points. Team A, if they lose the ball, they turn over on their second drive. Well, then the next team, the team has a chance to tie it up by kicking 2 field goals. To make it harder, however, the distance between the goalposts, let's just narrow it a little bit. Maybe by like a third. Make kicking a field goal really hard. That's why people don't care about the field goal kicker until he wins the game or he misses.
Well, I've also thought about, because you can do this in fantasy football, is depending on the distance of the kick.
Yeah.
That's
And look, they're kicking like 65-yard kicks.
That's pretty rare.
These guys are on fire.
They can do it, but you want 50 yards or less, ideally.
But I've seen the guy just kicked a 48 one the other day.
Yeah, that's pretty regular.
This guy's got this. And I'm sure in practice, they probably tear it up. So you know that somebody's out there during practice kicking. If you're an NFL kicker, you're setting that ball at the record and kicking it just to see if you can do it. And you're probably getting it 50%
Which I think
of the time.
now is 67 yards.
Yeah, you know they're tearing it up.
Like
So
Justin Tucker.
that sounds
Maybe.
right.
I don't know.
It sounds right. The dude that had the flat foot, that guy that had the half foot, you remember when he did it?
Well, that's like with Oakland Raiders.
Yeah, that guy. His foot was all jacked up. He went out there and kicked it. That's great. That's a great story. Anyways, so rules in board games, just like rules in football. I think it's very interesting when a game has a rule that, what's the term I want to look for? Not that it doesn't make sense, but there's certain rules in games that I wonder, what were they thinking? So recently, we just played, I say recently, just like 5 minutes ago, we played a game that I have been wanting to play for a long time, Artipia Games Fields of Green. Now, you said Fields of Green is a reskin of a space game. What's it called?
Among the Stars.
Among the Stars. I don't remember Among the Stars.
Justin Tucker, 66 yards. I was 1
Good
yard
job. Field of Green has this one goofy rule at the beginning, which is like, who's the first player? And they draw their cards first. And then you do like this 7 wonders type thing of pick your card, hand your card to the next person. I don't understand why you need to worry about who's the first player, who's drawing cards first. It's like an arbitrary rule, but it's easy to ignore. It doesn't break the game. There are several games that we have that we basically ignore that first player rule because it's like, who cares? But there are other games that have this one rule, and Reiner Knizia is the best at this. That one rule that makes the game. Like the whole high society thing where whoever, lowest money loses. Or even in this game, Fields of Green, I like the fact.
An M. Night Shyamalan twist.
I like, in Fields of Green, what you're doing is you're just laying out cards in an orthogonal tableau where you're trying to.
There's some gaming jargon for you.
I like that jargon.
Orthogonal tableau. Hey, Enrique, what are you doing?
Enrique, no.
He
no.
always
No.
finds something
That's
weird
floss.
to do with his face.
I was flossing right before the. Give me that. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I got everything rubbing through his beard.
Oh my!
No.
Why is that there?
I'm sorry. Okay, so this, not to be so meta,
No.
but prior to the podcast.
A gag warning on this.
Okay, all right.
Oh my
Prior to the
God,
podcast.
Enrique.
I didn't know what it was.
Exactly. So don't touch it.
Okay, so
I have a very weak stomach. I don't know.
all right, let me go through this real fast. Recently, I had a crown put on. They told me don't floss until they get the permanent on. as I walk into Gobby's house to shoot this podcast, I couldn't help that somebody in this household has been to the dentist because there is brand new floss on Gobby's table, and what mine is yours. So I decided to borrow some of Gobby's floss. And I was flossing when I walked into studio number 1.
Not the dance either.
No, I was flossing my teeth and my new permanent crown.
Oh my God.
Because I am the king. And after I got done flossing,
Not the dance.
I got to playing, of course, Call of Duty. I guess I laid the floss down. There's no trash can in this room, and I mistakenly I laid the floss down on the table.
And Enrique, who has a severe problem that's been mentioned before on this podcast, he can't let his hands just lay dormant.
No.
They must be doing something. If there's something in front of him, he will grab it and just manipulate it with his phalanges until it just gets to be too much. I look over, Enrique is rubbing the floss through his freshly shorn beard as if, I don't even know, like massaging it or something. So Jerry's saliva, tooth particles, of whatever.
Oh my God. I'm going to die now.
Is now just woven into your beard because you were like combing it back with that floss.
I was going up, sideways, down.
I take back everything I said about your beard. That was nasty.
It is disgusting.
And why don't you have a trash can in this room?
It's right over here.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going to put this in my pocket.
Okay.
I am very
Enrique,
sorry.
why don't you like go wash your face
Go
or
wash your
something?
beard, please. Lord, just
whatever Jerry ate for lunch is now in his beard.
cheesy bean and rice burrito from Taco Bell.
Oh my God.
They're $1.69, and if you're just needing, if you just gotta have a brief lunch. Either way, so the football doesn't really interest me. It's the idea of rules and how rules kind of change over through different editions of games. And I'm trying to think of, like, one of the things that gets me is that whenever a game has another edition, I always kind of panic because I worry about the rules being different.
Well, I'm always happier with the second version because usually that's the version where they've ironed out the rules that were kind of rough in the first version.
And speaking of which, Eclipse, which I know technically maybe it's not the second edition, they named it something else. They did kind of revamp the rules a little bit. They made it a little bit shorter. They changed just some minor things, and they did make the game much better, in my opinion. And so I know it's not apples to oranges type thing, but I think it's great when a designer has enough foresight to be able to listen to the complaints that they have after, because you can't play test a game enough to where you just have every little minute rule ironed out. I don't think. I think you just, unless it's just a very basic game. Any big complicated game at some point in time, you're going to get to a point where you realize this is broken.
And because you don't want to be getting on Board Game Geek having to look up all this erotica.
I like nuts. Errata.
Errata. You don't want to be looking at all this errata.
Something else.
What is erotica?
It rhymes with erotic.
Neurotic.
Erotic.
Is there a neurotica?
Erotic.
Electronic erotic.
Yes. So
I now understand.
Yes, that's the
Did you
the
know?
erotica of Riddick. Vin Diesel.
That's called fanfic.
Vin Diesel.
That is
fanfic.
out there.
What is it?
Erotica of Riddick. Erotica? It was right there.
It was. I didn't see it.
Go
ahead.
Did you know?
I did.
I did not know this till just the other day when I happened to be looking through people that have died this year, sadly. I don't know why I was reading that, looking that up on Wikipedia.
R.I.P.
Harry Connick
Jr.?
Sr.
Oh, you scared me for a moment.
has passed away.
What of?
And he passed away. Well, can you be sure when they are...
You can't.
Can you be sure when they are 97 years old?
I'm sorry. Enrique, you're hitting my mic.
Yeah.
He was a lawyer?
Harry Connick Jr. was an American attorney. He's best known for being the district attorney of the parish of Orleans from 73 to 2003. 30 years he was the DA of the parish of Orleans. That reminds me of a movie called DOA starring Dennis Quaid.
Never heard of it. I didn't know Harry Connick Jr. was in the Iron Giant.
I've never seen the Iron Giant.
I know it will make you cry.
I know Riddick is in it.
He is. He's the voice. He's in
a
Hulk
giant.
Floats as well. And
Yes.
Dolphin Tales. My kids
Harry
watch.
Connick Jr.
That's where Jack loves Dolphin Tale. It's about a dolphin who doesn't have a tail, and he gets a prosthetic. And I don't know why this is a movie.
Bio-dolphin? Is he like-
Yes, it's a dolphin tail, as in TALE.
Bionic dolphin.
It's not like a dolphin can't bluff in poker. It's a dolphin tail, but it's also but it's not tail like his fin. It's a tail like they're telling you a story.
Do you call?
I hate the fact that the English language.
He's lying to me.
Let me tell you something.
Blow it out your blowhole.
Let me tell you something.
Flipper.
A tale about a tail of a dolphin. That's insane that the English language does that.
I know.
When Harry met Sally,
I used to watch Flipper on a regular basis when I was growing up.
I
What's
bet
Flipper?
you did. Oh, and Dolphin Tale 2 came out. Do you not know about...
Stop the presses.
Hey, Harry Connick Jr. needs money.
Huh?
Listen, did you ever watch Willie?
If your last name was Connick, would you not name your firstborn I?
No, I'm not going there.
What about Dra?
It could work.
They could. Okay, no, listen. You're gonna have to. You're being.
That's just if I had a name that I could merge into an actual word, done. My children would hate me, but it would be done.
Yeah, that would be great. There's people that have that.
I mean, you're just built for success if your name is iconic.
Like Rip Torn.
Yes, done.
Yes.
Famous.
Yes. Free Willy. You ever watch Free Willy? Speaking of fish,
I don't think I have. No.
are you anti fish?
No. It's just I've
Mammals? Water
I was
mammals?
about to say,
maybe I've
whales are mammals,
I think
Jerry.
I might have watched Willie, but it's been
You
it's
might
been
have
a
watched
while.
not Wonka, but I'm talking about Free
no,
Willy.
like Free Willy. I might have. It's been a while.
It's Michael Jackson, dun, dun, and the fish jumps over the. I keep saying it's a fish.
It's a mammal. Get your fishes right.
Don't fish shame me.
Huh?
No way.
What have you been doing? Did you get your beard cleaned?
Yes, I went in there.
Thank you.
I went
You
in there.
flossed your beard. Okay.
Disgusting.
So
Could that work?
we have emails. I got to give you an email. Let me
Yeah,
pull up
let's
the
get
emails.
to the
I will
emails.
email. I will get
I
the emails.
flagged them, so if you just go to flag.
Thank you for that. You
In the meantime, while you're doing that, let me tell you this.
tell me.
Did you know
I did.
toilet paper, as we know, didn't become a thing in the U.S. until 1857? But even so, many Americans were keen to continue using what?
Say that again. Toilet paper.
Toilet paper did not become a thing as we know it until
It's
1857.
therapeutic paper. They called it that.
But even so, many Americans were keen to continue using what?
Therapeutic paper.
According to the Farmer's Almanac.
They used the Farmer's Almanac.
No, even worse.
Pine cones. Corncobs.
Corn
Sorry,
cobs.
corncobs. Yes, because I know that.
They
Because
used
are you
corn
ready?
cobs.
Are you ready for this? Dun, 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 dun.
Go ahead.
From November of 1992 to March of
Y'all
1993.
used corn cobs.
Outhouse.
Y'all had an outhouse?
Yes, we did. An actual legitimate outhouse. Because my father was building the home for which I basically spent the vast majority of my childhood.
In which you never received one whooping?
Listen, and sidebar, for everybody who detects whooping with discipline, my dad was a drill sergeant. Trust me, I wish I had been beaten every day despite the discipline for which he delved out. All right, so there you go. Anyways,
It seems like it came from somewhere deep.
I was deep. But speaking of deep, outhouse. While building our house, we had an outhouse, and in said outhouse was
corn cob?
said corn cob. And I wondered,
Could y'all not afford toilet paper?
we had toilet paper. And when I inquired of my mother, why was there a corn cob there? She laughed and said it was for posterity because that's what they used to use.
I did not know this. I saw this.
And may I correct that the corn cob was the toilet paper holder. He made a toilet paper holder
Okay,
out of a corn cob.
that makes it
and
much
I wondered
more
why.
pleasant.
There you go.
The use of corn cobs as toilet paper had a
paper.
had a rather
Good one.
disgusting downside. Downside? Like it's not, like there's an upside.
The pun.
I guess that it's free.
The puns are coming from everywhere. How'd this corn get here? Well, there's two ways. Somebody did
One
eat
of
their
two
dinner,
ways. I don't know which
or
one
somebody
I prefer.
did eat their dinner.
According
That
to
was
Dollar
nasty,
Shave
Enrique.
Club.
What you made the joke? What do you
Okay.
mean?
According to Dollar Shave Club, American Outhouses had one corn cob and one cob only hanging on a string in them. That means that their use was communal.
No.
Oh.
I call foul. Foul.
Entire families or schools or church congregations would use the same cob.
Oh my God.
No.
So this is
No.
like just and now the corn is eaten off of the cob.
Can I ask why you gave a trigger warning for floss, but the actual flossing of the cob, you decide to go hard?
The cob flossing the cheeks. So they literally just ran a shorned off cob.
You've shored twice. Where did you get that word?
I don't know. It just
You've been
came to
using
me.
it twice. I like it. I don't know if it's an actual word, but keep using
It's
it.
a word. It's a word.
Get it.
So you just, for one, I mean, I guess the shape is cylindrical,
It is.
so it can go between the cheeks quite smoothly.
Thank you. Please
Even though
continue.
after you eat the corn, that's a pretty rough cob.
Mm-hmm. I don't know where you're going with this. I'm trying to help you.
No, I'm just trying to comprehend the fact that people wiped their butts with corn cobs.
Okay.
And I did not know that was a thing until ranker.com brought it to my attention. Or actually, it's weirdhistory.com.
Boardgamesnobs@gmail.com. Please send us an email regarding this. I'd like to get off this topic because I have nowhere to go with this. You went deep. No pun intended. But this is bad. I don't know what you want me to do with this.
I know nothing. I just found it interesting. I did not know that. It is like, it has forever changed the way I will view me eating corn on the cob.
Well, I mean,
I guess maybe I should sock them away in case World War III happens and we don't have toilet paper.
true. Pandemic breaks out again. You got the cob.
There you go.
Let me read it. I'm going to read an email. Adam M. from Indianapolis.
That's quite the transition.
Sorry. Hey, Jerry, Gobby,
Hey, Jerry.
Enrique. For your next college show, should the first person to call into the show be referred to as Colin Firth?
That was a good one. Adam M. That was a good one. Adam M. has actually emailed in before, I believe, with a couple other good puns.
Has he? I'll look.
And I don't know. We've deleted Jerry. We have to delete some
Adam
emails.
M. emailed almost in a year ago about the squirrel fall damage.
Okay,
He was the one.
and he made some squirrel puns, I believe.
He did. And in 2000 and my favorite emails of his was back in October of 2003 where he said, "Hello, Gobby."
2003,
Like October.
23.
Okay, whatever. Jerry, Gobby, and he put in little brackets, abruptly cut off. Like you cut off
Gotcha.
Enrique. You don't know this, Enrique. Can I tell you something?
Okay.
Do you know that every time
He
you
doesn't know.
he doesn't know
Yes.
this.
He doesn't know.
Yeah.
Every time you sign off on the show, you're always the last to sign off. You
Yes.
always say, "And
And
this
then
is
I'm
Enrique."
cut off, yeah.
You're cut off.
Yeah. Like we've discussed.
Okay,
this.
I just want to make
Yeah,
sure
we've
that you know.
discussed
But
this.
you
That-
only know it because we've discussed it.
Yes.
Because you've ever went
You've
back and
never
listened.
listened to an episode.
Yeah.
Have you ever listened to a podcast ever? None of ours, anything.
Barstool Sports.
Gaming.com,
No, no,
podcasting,
not even gaming.
Incels.com.
PlayStation, all up in ya.
Nothing.
Podcast.
Okay, so you don't do podcasts
Okay.
at all.
No, no,
My
no.
point being is that he's the editor and he does that in a disrespectful and I get it.
Hey, as long as it makes it funny, I'm all for it.
I'm glad.
It's iconic at this point.
Yes.
Oh, Caleb, Tucker M emailed, said, listening to my email read
I
out
don't
loud.
understand the two different names.
What do you
Caleb,
mean?
Tucker.
Don't shame him.
Sorry.
Maybe he's got multiple names. Listening
Schizophrenic.
to my email read out loud, it sounded a little harsher than
I
it meant.
started off writing this Caleb, but now I'm Tucker.
What are you doing?
I don't know.
What? First off, why do you think that Tucker is less manly than Caleb? If
I
anything,
don't know.
Caleb is less manlier than Tucker.
Tucker, how you doing?
No, Tucker's a man. That's a cowboy
My
name.
name's
Tucker.
Tucker.
This
Tucker
my-
Carlson.
this is
That's
me.
not right. Tucker
Tucker
Carlson. That's the first
Carlson?
Carlson. That's the first name that came to. I couldn't think of any famous
Isn't
Tuckers.
that like the right wing podcast guy?
He's on X now. I don't know what's on X.
Twitter?
Yes, it used to be Twitter.
Old
Now it's
school
X.
Twitter.
It's old school Twitter. Who's another?
X going to give it to you.
Who's another famous Tucker?
Oh, are we doing
The
like
car?
first names or just last names?
The car.
The car that Jeff Bridges built, and they made 100 of them, and then they stopped.
Yeah, but we're talking about like people, aren't we?
You don't
Just
remember
not-
the Tucker? It was like a movie.
I don't
Tucker.
remember.
It was
I
in
don't
the 90s.
remember. I really don't.
Jeff Bridges was the titular Tucker, named after him, but they made a car called the Tucker, and it was like super advanced, but like super bombed at the same time.
Kind of like the Etzel.
Yes.
I don't know where that came from. I know nothing of cars.
I knew about the Etzel
but
as
that
well.
came from somewhere. I don't remember where. Thank you, Tucker M. And no, your email wasn't harsh and it didn't come off of judgmental. If everybody remembers it, Tucker M sends an email talking about how the last few episodes we had been kind of, I'd been kind of crazy about various things. Never mind. No, your email wasn't harsh. Let's see. Brian. Who's Brian? Every time I see Brian, I think I read it brain. I don't know why.
That's the dyslexia in you.
I was not expecting to cry during my morning commute, and certainly not while listening to a, in air quotes, board game podcast.
Air bunnies.
Yeah. Thanks for having air bunnies. No, those are the finger. Okay. Listen.
Air quotation.
Don't be saying that. Air bunnies is not a good term.
Enrique,
But Enrique, don't look
it's
at
kind of like the Playboy.
Got it.
It's like
No, we don't use the
can't
term
stop
air
looking.
bunnies because people use it as a derogative term for flight stewardess people, flight mistresses, people, the women that work in the air. What's the term? Air attendants, flight attendants. I'm sorry. I am not. You are the most.
The air
Your
secretary.
misogyny has worn
Air
off.
attendants.
I said air mistress. That is not right.
I'll be your air mistress today.
Please stop that. Stop. Brian says, and I will repeat,
Brain.
I was not expecting to cry during my morning commute. Thanks for having a meaningful conversation and allowing others to be a part of it. Onwards and upwards.
Up yours. Which was the original name in the podcast, but Apple wouldn't let me upload that for something.
Anyways, thanks for the note, Jerry. I'm glad there's a podcast I can turn to for all my mental health needs and occasionally board game talk to. You're welcome, Brian. We do a lot of there's another English thing. We do.
Doo-doo.
Speaking of corncobs, that we can have. See, you ruin everything you touch.
What do you mean?
Both of you. Something can be so just put together and organized. I had this episode in the bag.
That's
Now
what
wait
you
a minute.
said
That's
started.
all Gobby's fault with the
I
corn
said
thing.
I had
Look
this
at it, Enrique
organized.
just throwing me right under the bus.
I had this podcast organized.
Enrique, you're the corn cob of this podcast.
Huh?
You're
I may have started it, but he instigated.
You're
it.
between-
You're pointing fingers like viciously at me.
He made the fire
He's
bigger.
pointing,
You know-
he's pointing towards the right cheek.
Enrique, when you point one finger at me, there's 5 pointing back at
Well,
you.
technically, we can't even see your finger pointing at us. It's so
Actually,
thin.
wait.
You mean
I
like
got that
this?
way wrong.
No,
There's 3 pointing back at you.
No.
There's a thumb and a forefinger pointing.
No, you point like this. You point with your forefinger pointing towards a person, 3 fingers pointing back at you, and 1 finger pointing up at God. I don't know. That's a gun. That's a gun.
That's a finger gun.
That's a finger gun.
You got air bunnies and finger
And besides,
guns.
it's only three fingers because you're doing.
Well,
Yeah, that's the way you point.
to
right
be
there.
honest, I
that's
point,
a good point.
no,
right
no,
there.
no. Here's a point.
You made a good point.
No, I point like this.
Well, that's a gesture.
No. If you'll notice, Bubba does this too. We point with all of our fingers pointing. We like tomahawk you.
No,
We point
Bubba
towards
does this
No, that's when he doesn't want to point.
nonstop.
That's what he does when he doesn't want
He
to point.
just takes
he
his
rocks
crooked
his hand.
forefinger and just
He rocks because he doesn't want to be aggressive.
rocks.
But when he wants to point, this is what he does. This points all fingers towards you.
that's
Thumb,
like an
4
open
fingers,
palm,
open palm.
like a karate chop.
No, it's first down.
There you go.
There it is.
Yeah, first
Right
down.
to boy,
Yeah.
keeping this football jargon alive. Either way, thank you, Brian. Brain. Our next email is from Christopher, and it's entitled "A Mentality of Failure." He might be talking about you, Enrique. Hello,
Is it me? I thought
Hello,
it'd be-
snobs. I just finished the episode on friendships, and I have to chime in on the fail today, give up tomorrow mentality. Which,
Okay, it's Gobby, man.
wow, shots Fayyad. I have to struggle with addiction for the majority of my life, and I've also been a group leader in Celebrate Recovery, an addictions group. This is a very...
Me and Enrique just had a stare down. You didn't see it.
And
he broke.
I looked away. I saw you looking at each other.
We shot daggers at each other, and he looked away first. I won.
I know, because he was scared. You're literally twice the man he is.
I think that's big knowledge.
Okay. This episode is awful. We should delete this.
Oh, no.
Okay.
We need content.
This is very common in the addictions community, and I would suggest that it oftentimes derives from the shame that comes from the failure and the enjoyment of letting go provides. Shame.
Okay, here's a problem. You started reading this email, and this is a heartfelt email, and he's got serious stuff to say, and we've not given it the respect it deserves.
I will start over.
So maybe you need to start over.
I just finished the episode on friendships, and I have to chime in. I have struggled with addiction for the majority of my life, and I've also been a group leader in Celebrate Recovery, an addictions group. This is a very common in the addictions community, and I would suggest that this is oftentimes derived from the shame that comes from the failure and the enjoyment letting go provides. Shame is hugely detrimental and drives many negative actions, including the idea that once you fail, you are a failure and will continue to be a failure. So trying again is a fruitless endeavor. When you mix that with the subconscious idea that giving up is easier than course correction, that it was easier to enjoy your failure in the moment than to fight for the success every day, it becomes easy to understand why this habit is prevalent. As you both stated, it is important to fight back when those lies first arise. But doing so alone is difficult. Gabi mentioned that he can easily combat that mentality in others when they share such viewpoints, but finds the gumption absent when it is birthed within himself. This is why we all need close, supportive friends who know our struggles and out our goals, and we can be honest with, and who we can be honest with, and who won't call us in our weakness, but encourage us in strength. And I think that I had somewhere to go with that, but I was interrupted and my brain is now elsewhere. I'm going to go chase it down, keep pushing forward. Dorian Phoenix.
Onwards and
yours.
Words.
I like that. He used birthed. Anytime you use birthed in a sentence that doesn't involve actual birth of a human out of an orifice, I like that term because it is indicative of something new.
Placenta.
Previa. That's a term.
After
birth. After birth.
Do they
is the thing that you say after someone else births an idea. A birth. Speaking of English words being weird, a birth.
It's a place to park your boat.
I don't like that because it doesn't make any sense.
Birth.
This is a birth.
Although it's spelled differently.
It's ER, isn't it?
Yeah.
Birth.
Mm-hmm.
Birth.
Welcome to Birth.
Bertha. Big Bertha. Who works at K-Ray's
It was a Callaway
diner.
club I used to use.
Is
to
it?
Swing at the old golf ball on the drive.
Big Bertha is the
Number
waitress
1 wood.
at K-Ray's diner. She is not big. I don't know why they call her Big Bertha.
That seems derogatory.
You would think so. I think it's
as if it's maybe body shaming.
She's not, though. She's very small. So it's like body shaming in reverse. It's ironic. Well, no, it's not. I don't know if irony is not what you think it is.
Okay,
it's not.
what is it?
We use irony wrong.
We do.
We do. And a lot
We
of
use
people,
irony ironically?
No, we don't.
Oh.
You use it completely wrong. If you're in the mindset to understand this, which I don't think that you are, but I'm not going to shame
I'm always
you.
in the mindset.
The expressions of one's meaning by using language that normally signifies the opposite, typically for humorous effect.
But
A state of affairs or event that seems deliberately contrary to what one expects, but is often amusing.
Does it give an example?
Well, let's see. Let's look for examples.
Ironic examples.
Here we go. I'll look up ironic examples. Do not in any way start another conversation. It was ironic that the robber's car crashed into a police station.
Okay.
For example, if the wedding was between a woman who wrote a book called Why You Don't Need a Man and a man whose TED Talk... Oh, that's stupid.
So, I mean, I get it. Robbers going to the police. It's ironic. It's kind of like an opposite thing.
But irony, there's some weird thing. Irony is a deliberate. There's something about
it's like playing a game called Can't Stop, but you do.
I do it all the time. I
Yeah,
just
you
beat
literally
Board Game
stop.
Gumbo. Board Game Gumbo, if you're
Apologies may need to be made.
please, if I messaged you anything during that very heated game, Board Game Arena of Can't Stop, I thought Gobby's username is very similar to yours. I thought I was playing Gobby. I may have said some things that were inside jokes and perhaps quite insulting towards you, because I have met the gentleman behind the name Board Game Gumbo. He is, in a lot of ways, very opposite of Gobby. And so any insults that may have been off-putting, I am sorry. That's okay.
I should have been off-putting
You should
a long time ago.
off-putting. I saw what you did there,
Yeah.
and it was funny, but I can't
good.
laugh at what, because you're a misogynist. Next email.
Is there another one?
There's always another one. Another one. I said it for you. Let's see. John Phipps.
Oh yeah.
This is John.
Well, he messaged us on.
Yeah, what was he saying?
He joined our Patreon. Thank you, John Phipps.
Is this John Phipps? This is John that we wear at BGG.
Jay Jumpin' or Jumpin' Jay?
John Phipps. I like John
Christian
Phipps.
Soul Train's friend.
Soul Train.
He had joined us at BGG and had a good time despite the tough time he was going through, and he just wanted to acknowledge and
He's the
his appreciation for the way.
vice president of your fan club, Enrique.
Yes, I know.
Either
All
way,
right.
we're going to be at BGG Spring in
BGG
May.
Spring. We'll be there in
Oh,
full
yeah.
force. Minus Bubba. I don't know.
Bubba's coming.
Oh, really?
Bubba will be there. This is
Huzzah.
Huzzah. Yes, yes.
Rare occasion.
A venture awaits.
Okay.
Mm.
Huzzah!
Huzzah!
Board Game Snobs at full force.
Correct.
So that means no one can join us for gaming, especially if they're 4-player games, unless it's a 5-player game.
Bubba drops in and out. Enrique, we
true.
lose him so much, and
He's like
you
gone.
get tired easily.
Oh, that's true. I'm like done at 9:30.
So I will, yes. So basically, I'm there though. And we'll probably do Den of Wolves or something of that nature
Den of
again.
Wolves.
Yes, if they're
Oh
there.
my god.
I don't know why did you do that where you acted like you enjoyed it and then you don't want to do it again?
It's a thing.
It is a thing.
I did enjoy it.
Yes. Then
But
why
when
not
I-
do it again?
Because when I think about the 8 hours y'all devoted to this last game,
Yes.
Yeah.
I just think of all the other games that I could thoroughly be enjoying.
Mm,
And see, I don't have.
Would you be enjoying it more? Is that something quantifiable? You'll spend 8 hours watching television.
But I don't. You enjoy Den of Wolves to a degree I do not,
It makes me complete.
because you have the personality
I do.
needed for
I
Den of
have a
Wolves.
personality.
You have that.
Explain why Enrique enjoys it.
because it's,
That I do not know.
Because it's role playing. It's literally just playing out a scenario.
But see, every role you have assumed in that game has given you something specific to do.
Yes.
Yes. And you've only
The one and only time I got it was the vaguest role of all time.
but you could join
Secretary.
us and we could make sure that you are.
Okay, well, I don't know that I
You could
will.
be president. You could be admiral.
I think I would be terrible at both of those.
It doesn't matter.
To me,
Being-
it requires a type A personality,
well, no,
which I
no,
do
no.
not
What
have.
it doesn't. Here's the thing. I feel like I'm about to start an argument.
Unless you go into
Most likely.
unless you're president and I'm admiral and we just work together.
that
Deal.
can work.
Deal.
And I'll be like, I'll be darned if y'all get me out of here.
By cold dead hands.
And
And then, like the second round, you just nixing out. You just put 2 fingers, air bunnies. It's out of here.
Everyone screwed.
Yeah.
we have set the self-destruct.
Self destruct.
This fleet is going up.
I did not have. Listen, I'm going to repeat this. I think that one of the best things about role playing in these RPGs, which
Thanks for clarifying.
thank you. Well, I know there's some people who tune in that don't know anything. They think this is not a board game podcast. Do you assume that all actors are type A personalities?
No,
So you don't have a type A personality, correct?
I would say no.
Would you say Enrique has a type A personality?
No.
Okay. So it's not that.
And by type A, I just mean generally outgoing, assertive people that go out of their comfort zones. And not even comfort zones. I don't think type A personalities have comfort zones. Like you,
Of course they do.
I don't know that you do. Like we go to BGG and you talk to anyone and everyone. I don't talk to anyone unless I'm spoken to first. Or I know you.
Okay. I am trying.
In my comfort zone, here's a weird thing, and you might be able to quantify this. In my friend zone, I might be a type A personality. Is that a thing?
So, because you have recently pointed out, and I do appreciate this, and I'm trying to get better at this. I hear you, I see you, and I appreciate you, that often I say things that are horrifically wrong. Now, I will say sometimes I say things that are horrifically wrong because I find it funny.
Right.
But in situations like this, I'm trying to be a little more specific. So I just looked up type A personality so I can make sure that I'm on the right track.
Okay.
In particular, the positive types of traits in type A are self-control, motivation to achieve results, competitiveness, multitasking. Meanwhile, some of the more difficult traits are chronic competitiveness, impatience, aggressive, hostility. This sounds like me. Yes, because these tendencies, the tendency to engage in urgent and achievement-oriented behavior, people with type A often feel more stress. They can be impatient, competitive, hostile, and So type A is just when we say we're a type A personality, they tend to be more ambitious and feel impatient. But I don't check every box on type A. Like I'm not.
No, because when I say type A, I guess I'm just going with the old cliche of basically, I mean, I didn't do like a psychological reference for it, but when I say type A, I mean, you're more outgoing than me.
Correct. So you mean more extroverted. Type B is peaceful, relaxed, easygoing, stress-free, or prone to less stress, having a sense of...
that is not me.
Well, that doesn't necessarily mean, but it's having a lack of urgency, that's you, or procrastinating, that's you. Being stable...
I do procrastinate.
So
That literally sounds like me.
There's a type D personality?
Huh? What's the type D?
How many types of personalities? Type D, a concept used in the field of psychology, is defined as the joint tendency towards negative affectivity, worrying, gloom, and social inhibition, lack of self-assurance. You might be.
That would be me.
You're the big D.
That would be me.
Types.
But at the same time, to classify 8 billion people into 3 or 4 different types of personality.
Type C.
It's type C.
Am I D and C?
No, someone who thrives on being accurate, rational, and applying logic to everything. I'm a big C.
You're C.
Don't be laughing, Langford, or anyone else from Australia. That's type A, B, and C. Either way, just because you do not purport to be an extroverted person doesn't mean that you should not role play as one. Just show up and show out.
But I can't.
That's the freeness of it. Just show up and be crazy.
I could pretend to be someone else.
Yes, why not? Just show up and be like, I'm going to be loud and obnoxious and very mean. And no, the point of being in a role-playing situation
here's the thing.
Is that nobody cares.
I actually had this for a whole podcast discussion, so we will table this until next week's episode.
Please.
So we're going to discuss, Den of Wolves is a social deduction game with some hidden information type stuff.
Correct.
That brings to mind something I had in mind to discuss along those lines of talking about Mafia, Werewolf, that sort of game.
Right.
And so now we will tease next week's episode because we're going to discuss that game, what it's about, where it comes from, and the people that thrive in it.
I am teased.
Okay.
And I have recently played that game multiple times. And
perfect.
I have also intended to talk about all those things because we had a party game day at Enrique's house, and this episode was supposed to be us talking about that, and I got sidetracked by your cop.
Okay. So we'll discuss it next week. Until next time, I'm Gabi.
This is Jerry.
Thank you for tolerating this episode of the Board Game Snobs. Stay classy.